Hello, everyone. I believe we should be live now. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar brought to you by Baxter Media featuring Princess Cruises. We're very excited to have you here, and we're also very excited to have our special guests, who I will introduce very shortly. So, thank you for joining us. My name is Eilish. I'm your host from Baxter Media, and we're very pleased to have our presenter here from Princess Cruises. Her name is Carmen Roig. She is the Vice President of Sales, and she's joining us from Miami today. So thank you, Carmen, for being here. And we're also very excited to have Charlie Sylvia from CLIA, Cruise Lines International Association, who will be providing a brief update in just a moment. And the last piece of very exciting news is that we do have a lovely prize for those of you who are attending live. Will be entered into the prize draw. We will announce the winner at the end of today's session. And the prize is a balcony stateroom for two with Princess Plus amenities on the 3-day, October 11th, 2024 Sun Princess Caribbean Getaway. So that's round trip from Fort Lauderdale to Princess Keys. And that is not accessible to the public. I believe Carmen will talk more about that later. So please do stick around until the end. We're really excited to have someone win that. With that, I will be pulling up Charlie's slides here, and he will be providing a brief update on CLIA.
Thank you, Eilish. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and it's a privilege to be here with my dear friend Carmen Roig from Princess Cruises. As many of you may know, Princess Cruises, that was my first cruise back in 1977, and I'm thrilled to say I still cruise Princess to this day as often as I can. So I love this boat. So folks, thank you for taking a moment to hear from me about what's new at CLIA. My name is Charles Sylvia. I serve you as your Vice President of Trade Relations for any of you who are members of CLIA. And if you're not yet a member of CLIA, we would love to have you walk the gangway and join us in 2024. I do want you to have my contact information. Please feel free to reach out whenever you need me. And if you scan the QR code, you can follow me on my social media channels. And I'm always posting valuable content to help you grow your business and really differentiate you and give yourself some competitive advantage. So the next slide goes right into what's new at CLIA. Well, 2024 membership, as you can imagine, is open. All categories, travel agency membership and individual agent membership. Already we've had more than 53,000 travel advisors in Canada and the United States join CLIA as travel agency members and individual agent members. So all you have to do is scan that QR code if you want to join or renew. You may be a member in the past who hasn't renewed for 2024. We want you on board with us in 2024. Lots of benefits. You can just log into your My CLIA and log into your profile, and you will be able to renew from there. Now, the next slide really talks about what CLIA membership is. And these are the items from the survey. Every year we survey our members, and this is what you tell us are the most important reasons why you become part of CLIA. Credibility first and foremost. We give you the official industry credentials so that you can book cruises with our cruise lines and also be recognized as a travel agent who sells cruise travel. We give you expertise through our training and professional development program. We've got some incredible content. All of it has been updated and is state of the art. We do also offer the official industry certifications. So when you see those letters, whether they be ECC, MCC, ACC, CCC, those are the official industry certification credentials for travel professionals who are experts in cruise travel. And that membership, certification, all of your involvement in training leads to the recognition. Travel advisors who participate in CLIA, who are members, who get certified, they find themselves being invited to all sorts of really interesting things. And they find that the cruise lines start to know about them. They know about them because we provide the cruise lines with all of the information on who our members are and who are the most active and who are the ones pursuing certification and taking training, so that they know who's really digging deep and making themselves professional. And all of our benefits are designed to help you make money and save money. So remember, if you're using your CLIA membership correctly, it will pay for itself every single year. And we're here to help you learn how to do that. The next slide does get into the top 5 member benefits. Again, I mentioned the credibility and recognition. We share your CLIA member status. We verify it weekly for all of our CLIA cruise lines and river marketing affiliates. So they know what you're doing with CLIA and how seriously you're taking your career. You do also receive $2,500 in bonus commissions. Those are CLIA Cruise Line member bonus commissions, again, helping you save money and, again, make money. You do get the 2024 CLIA Embark ID, which is the enrolled member benefit and recognition credential. That's what Embark stands for. It's actually an acronym: Enrolled Member Benefit and Recognition Credential. That helps identify you as a travel advisor. And again, you also have the opportunity to be listed on the CLIA website with our agent finder. We get about 22,000 consumers who pop on over to CLIA. They find us, even though we're not a consumer-facing organization, they find us on Google, about 22,000 a month. So get yourself a lead through Agent Finder. It's only $20 for the whole year. And access to all of our professional development, CLIA certification, which again, industry certification, industry credentials make you legitimate, help you stand out from the competition. My last slide talks about Cruise 360, and otherwise I would be promoting it, but we have actually been sold out on Cruise 360 for more than 2 months. Absolutely incredible. We have 1,246 advisors coming and hundreds more in sponsors and exhibitors and support staff. So there's going to be over 2,000 people at the Broward County Convention Center. Don't worry if you've missed out on 2024 Cruise 360, because 2025 Cruise 360 will launch soon. Please check our social media platforms and your emails. We will be sharing the information. So with that, this is Charlie Sylvia with CLIA. Thank you so much. It is our privilege to serve you. And with that, I turn it back to you, Eilish.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for that update. And we really appreciate you being here. We love to see you. So thank you so much. And now we'll turn it over to Carmen. We have a brief video to start, and then she will take it away.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Eilish. That's fabulous. So yes, come feel the love. So first and foremost, everybody, I'm Carmen Roig, the Vice President of Sales for the beautiful Love Boat Cruise Company, Princess Cruises. Before I start the presentation, first of all, I want to thank my dear friend Charlie with CLIA. What an amazing opportunity for you. By the way, membership pays for itself with those bonus commission certificates that you get from the incredible member lines that participate. It is an investment in your career, in your future, and in our amazing industry. And I also want to thank Eilish for this opportunity. I will tell you, yes, I'm coming to you from Miami. Yes, cruise capital of the world. But let me just tell you, it's always technical. So I say it at the beginning of every single webinar I conduct, because if it's going to happen, Murphy loves Carmen Roig, and it's going to happen to me. So just be flexible. There's like an 8 to 10 second delay, so I'll go as quickly as I can. Just a little bit about myself if I do not know you. And by the way, I love my Canadian travel advisors. You are amazing. It is so wonderful to work with each and every one of you. I will tell you, I've been in this business 43 years. I know I got to be careful when I date myself that way, but I did start in the industry because of the Love Boat, right? I used to watch the show every Saturday night, and I wanted to be Julie McCoy, right? Welcome everybody on board. So I'm thrilled that this passion has turned into a career for me. So I joined the Princess brand just 2 years ago. Actually, last week, March 21st was my anniversary, my 2-year anniversary. So I'm thrilled to be at the Princess brand, really going full circle, because I had started at Carnival Cruise Lines 43 years ago. So I have been part of this corporation for quite some time. So I'm proud to be here with all of you. But let's talk Princess. So we can go to the next slide. And thank you, Eilish, for volunteering to run the slides for me as we go through. So I really want to talk about, I call it today's Princess, right? Because obviously when you think of the Love Boat and you think of what that show did for the cruise industry and all of the cruise lines, period, it put us on the map, right? And when I started 2 years ago, I saw great opportunity to really refresh. And that's why we start. And I always start with that great spot. That's our TV spot. So we actually, not necessarily in Canada, but in the US, we do TV spots, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, really to share folks what our new brand is about. Really, we're refreshed. Most people don't realize we have 16 ships in our fleet. But one of the focuses on today's webinar is really talking about this home port strategy that we have really embraced and undertaken between last year and this year and moving forward. So next slide, we're going to talk about what this means, right? We do have a long tradition at Princess of obviously sailing from variety of U.S. ports and Canadian ports as well, right? So our brand started in 1965. Can you imagine sailing from LA to what we, by the way, tagged the Mexican Riviera, right? So we grew from there and have really got departures to places from all over, as you can see, North America. And we say, I love these home ports because even though we started in LA, and most people think of Princess as a real West Coast brand, we really are a global brand with over 330 destinations. But for today's purposes, we're really going to focus on these home ports. So we look at the next slide. I want to talk about some of the ports. Obviously, you know, Alaska, we're number one in Alaska. We don't just visit Alaska. We live in Alaska and we own Alaska. So we're very proud of our Alaska heritage, right? And everything we do. But we've also obviously go Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, where we began, Fort Lauderdale in my backyard, even though Port Miami's the cruise capital of the world, folks. Trust me, Fort Lauderdale is amazing, and it is the home port for our Caribbean voyages, and obviously New York and Quebec. But back for a third season, we're in Galveston. Next slide. So Galveston is interesting, and our strategy with home ports is really, really easy. So I think all of you have been impacted by high airfare, right? The rates, the high cost of airfare nowadays have really allowed us to get a pulse on our consumers, your clients that you entrust to be our guests, and they really want this new drive market experience. So we added Galveston, but new for 2024, which is where I want to focus, is not just Port Canaveral. Well, we'll start in Port Canaveral this fall with the Caribbean Princess, so very excited about that, but also Boston. So next slide. So when we talk about these princess home ports. And what is this strategy? Again, it really is born as of a result of feedback that we've got from you, our travel partners all over the globe, but most importantly in North America. And the Princess Homeport strategy is just that. It's really our ability to offer a premium cruise experience. We're not a mass market contemporary brand. We're not a luxury brand, even though we do have suite categories. And when we talk about the new Sun Princess and Star Princess, you'll see where we have finally entered this ship within a ship category. But with the home port strategy, it's really about having convenience from your backyard to really get in round trip options that are great for those who just want to drive to these home ports and sail. And again, the value. We all know cruising offers the highest guest satisfaction of any vacation. And when we stack ourselves up against land based vacations, we're talking night and day. So next slide. So, and I was recently at a conference with my very good friend who is in Canada, actually. He is in Toronto and was telling me how, you know, these land-based vacations, the price points compared to cruising, now more than ever, it is a value proposition, but it's really up to you as our travel professionals, partners, and experts, subject matter experts, to really be the value interpreters to our prospects, your clients. So Port Canaveral is really interesting because we're sailing there seasonally. We're starting out in Port Canaveral, very excited. Similar to what we did with Galveston, we've had great success. So we're sailing November through April of 25. Eastern and Western Caribbean, we're known for that so that clients can do back to backs, which are very, very extended voyages, which are wonderful. And you'll see what the drive markets are. But also, there's great airlift from Canada to Orlando. Think about Orlando and the greedy little mouse, right? He's got a big piece of cheese. Well, I just want a little sliver of that. So next slide, I'll talk about these itineraries in specifics, right? Because we wanted to have flexibility. We make no decisions at the brand unless we've got data to back it up and analytics and feedback, not just from you, our travel partners, but also our incredible guests. I mean, the elite guests that love our brand are extremely committed to the brand, and they are not shy about sharing their input and feedback. So we'll start with just this great itinerary, the 6 day Eastern Caribbean with Turks and Caicos. Again, round trip. We do that for airlift. Airlift into Port Canaveral is Orlando, which is phenomenal from all over North America. And Grand Turk is a fantastic port, and we're including it in this 6 day itinerary. And then, of course, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Next slide. I was just in San Juan in the fall. Talk about cultural immersion. Absolutely amazing. And you get a little bit of everything, and obviously Nassau as well. Then we've done some incredible itineraries with Belize, which I think is also exciting as well. And most folks are telling me this is an 8 day Western Caribbean. So you'll see from Port Canaveral, we're giving you a little bit the best of everything, right? The Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean. So if you're maxing out and doing back to backs, you're looking at an 8 and a 6 for a 14-day cruise, which really gives you a broad experience of the Caribbean, both East and West. Again, round trip, Port Canaveral. And this is really great itinerary exploring the Mayan ruins with Cozumel, which is beautiful, with Costa Maya, and again, Belize on this cruise. Absolutely fantastic. Next slide will bring us into, what people traditionally call that Eastern Caribbean. St. Thomas continues to be, I call it a staple. Everybody who's going to the Caribbean for the first time definitely wants to do, St. Thomas. I mean, that is a beautiful shot. I did actually Caribbean Princess with my family over the New Year holiday. And we did actually, this cruise was an 11-day cruise for us. But Magens Bay, I mean, top rated beach. It's absolutely picturesque, gorgeous, pristine. And then again, we bring in San Juan, St. Martin, so Dutch and French. Talk about exotic, great 8 day itinerary, top rated beaches, and then we include Grand Turk as well, which is very, very popular. Um, I'm going to shift gears, going to Galveston with the next slide. So, giving folks the central part of, again, we've been very west, really California centric. So by going into Galveston, we're really looking at the middle of the country. Also, anybody from the West, airlifts easier, even though it's a home port strategy that allows us to do these key drive markets, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. The reality is it attracts North American clients across, right? So it's really good. Again, giving it 20 departures. This will be our third season in there, 4 to 11 days. Important to, again, it's on the Regal Princess, so she's fantastic. We had upsized obviously for 24, got a bigger ship. She did amazing. So we're bringing her in. So let's talk about some of these itineraries in the next few slides. She will be returning in 25 and 26, backed by popular demand, I want to say, doing some really cool itineraries. Again, we try to give a variety of itinerary lengths and durations, which is critical because if you're traveling or your clients are coming from far reaches of Canada, whether it's Toronto, whether they're coming from Vancouver, want to make sure we're giving them plenty of options. That's one of the things our guests tell us. They like the ability of doing these back to back. So we're giving them not just 6 days, 7 days, and 8 days. Western Caribbeans, again, round trip Galveston. If you think of some drive markets there, you can, fly into Houston, you can fly into Dallas. So there's lots of options, and people can just drive into Galveston, which is really kind of really good kept secret. So we're going to open that up. So next slide, we'll talk about Fort Lauderdale. And when I talk about Fort Lauderdale, we've been there for quite some time. And yet when I am at trade shows throughout, people tell me, "Oh, Fort Lauderdale, you're in Fort Lauderdale." Yes, we are. And we're there year round. So we do year round Caribbean. Again, we're known for Alaska. Don't want to forget about Alaska because we're number one in Alaska. So I don't want any of my Canadian friends to think Alaska continues to be our number one destination. We have 7 ships in Alaska. We own Alaska. We don't just visit. We live there round trip. We own all of our components in that delivery of the brand experience. But Fort Lauderdale is a year round for us as well. Over 120 departures, not just the Caribbean. Okay, but also Panama Canal. So if you think about the durations, 5 to 20 days. Fort Lauderdale, again, great airlift from Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So you can get into Fort Lauderdale, whether there's Fort Lauderdale lift or there's Miami lift. Actually, we even have folks that go into Orlando, and we have a new rail service called Brightline that can get folks from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale or Miami. So we are thrilled about, again, just another level of access. And then I just want to highlight specifically the Sun Princess. So we're going to talk more about Sun later in the webinar. I promise I'll do a deeper immersion into Sun and what this means for the Princess brand. It's truly a game changer. It is our newest 16th ship. But we also have, if you think about it, the Caribbean Princess, which we just talked about, Emerald, Enchanted, Island, Majestic, Ruby, Sapphire, and Sky Princess. So even though we have great drive markets, the itineraries really allow us to do an expansive amount of the Caribbean and Panama Canal. So if we go to the next slide, we'll start with the traditional 7-day Eastern Caribbean, which everybody has come to know and love, which I think is fantastic. It gives us an opportunity really to do an intro. For those, it's the first time in the Caribbean. This is what you would call, for us, our traditional Caribbean voyages. Princess Keys, okay? I know there's a lot of talk out there about private islands. Oh, so many people are introducing new private islands. Well, we've had Princess Key as our private island in the Bahamas for over 2 decades. Just want you to know. So I always find it's interesting when I tell folks, "Oh, yes, we have our own private island." They're like, "Really? Is that new?" No, we've been around for 2 decades with Princess Keys, and that you'll see the beautiful. I love these Bahamian colored cabanas. I did one of the cabanas when I was there on Caribbean Princess. So again, New Sun Princess will be doing this starting October, just right around the corner through February of 25. Again, we talked about these top rated beaches, right? So San Juan, St. Thomas, and Princess Keys, which is phenomenal itineraries. Next slide, we'll go into again 7-day Western Caribbean. Now, I will tell you, I think Eilish mentioned it at the top of the webinar about the giveaway at the end, and she will pick who wins this incredible 3-night. It's an intro cruise of Some Princess. So that'll be October 11th, but Princess Keys will be one of the itineraries. They're actually part of this intro cruise that we have. You cannot buy the cruise, by the way. So whoever wins it, it is a truly priceless experience. You'll be the first to experience Sun Princess in North America. So 7-day Western Caribbeans, again, round trip Fort Lauderdale on the Enchanted and the Sun Princess, but we'll hear more about again Costa Maya and Belize. Absolutely gorgeous. Having Belize City in this one cruise is really a staple and a hook for clients who've done Western Caribbean before. Next one is then talking about when you look at airfare. I always love to offer up in these itineraries something a little longer in duration. So you'll see a 10-day Southern Caribbean, right, with Martinique. Again, raising the bar, making this a little more exotic, and obviously for our Canadian travelers. And we have an amazing, amazing following in Canada. And it's important because they're traveling a long way and they might not just want a 5-day or 4-day cruise, even if they're doing land based. Because they're coming so far, they want to do a longer cruise. So the next few slides will talk about these longer cruises. So this is a 10-day Southern Caribbean, again, Martinique, round trip Fort Lauderdale. So airlift is easy. It's not like we're going Fort Lauderdale to Martinique and then you're going to have to figure out how to get back. And it just increases the pricing. So I always like to take that airfare and you amortize it, right? You take the price of your airfare over the 10-day period and you're enjoying UNESCO sites, right? So this is really from Dominica. So like Dominica is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful destination with that UNESCO site. You get Antigua, which is beautiful, Martinique as well, St. Lucia, St. Thomas. So you'll see Princess Keys, which is a great relaxing day. From Fort Lauderdale, this 10-day itinerary allows us to get a little deeper in the Southern Caribbean, which is what a lot of folks who've done the traditional 7-day want. So if we go to the next slide, we're going to talk about our 12-day Panama Canal with Costa Rica. Again, if we amortize the cost of air over 12 days, it gives you um, a little more in-depth culture, a different type of experience. So here we're doing round trip Fort Lauderdale. It's the Emerald Princess, which is absolutely beautiful. And if you think of Grand Cayman, talk about shopping, absolutely majestic. Grand Cayman, it is a gorgeous destination, beautiful island, and more importantly, great shopping, great beaches, great shore excursions. So if you've seen, swim with the incredible stingrays, absolutely beautiful at Stingray Beach. Then you get Costa Rica. Talk about exotic. So this is pura vida. So if you've never been to Costa Rica, I mean, I just love the excursions where I can get to see the sloths and just do exciting experiences. And then you get that Panama Canal experience with Colón. Cartagena, talk about another UNESCO World Site, right? This is the old walled city of Cartagena is gorgeous. It is giving you historics. And then, of course, the Panama Canal is on a lot of folks. I call them life lists here. I don't call them bucket lists at Princess, but it gives you a great opportunity to experience the locks without having to go all the way and doing a longer duration voyage. You get Aruba, dare I say, Aruba, Jamaica, right? You know the Beach Boys song. And then Bonaire. Bonaire, it's very cool. I just celebrated my 31st wedding anniversary, and we've done Bonaire, the ABC Islands, which I think is great. So having Bonaire in this itinerary, if you have anybody who loves to dive, this is definitely an itinerary that gives you a little bit of everything from a shopping and beautiful beaches in Grand Cayman to history with the Panama Canal and Cartagena with UNESCO. I mean, this is a crowd pleaser. This is one that checks off a lot of these life lists. If we'll go to the next slide, we're just going to shift into really these sailings because we included Boston this year. For our Canadians, they should be good as well. Hopefully, you'll find this very, very interesting. So, out of Boston, this is new for us, right? We've done normally these itineraries out of New York in the past, but we brought it in, and it's July through October of this year. So, it's a little earlier for us, which is great, but it's doing Canada and New England and also Greenland. So that's why you see these durations go anywhere from 7 to 17 days. We talk about drive markets as well. So it's on Emerald for 24, and then we're doing Majestic Princess. So, I mean, this is really a Renaissance kind of cruise when you look at these. And we've got over 10 departures. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that we're going to, on these itineraries, there's a lot. People come for the history, but they stay for some famous, fresh seafood. It's new because it offers a whole bunch of expansive drive markets for us, and it's ideal for sourcing prospects. Again, when we talk about Canada, New England, not just from Boston, but also from New York. So obviously, this is no stranger to our Canadian friends when we do, Nova Scotia, and we're talking about Sydney and Charlottetown. Again, for us, and Portland for us, beautiful itineraries. Sailings are earlier in the summer from Boston because that's what our guests have asked. Again, it's a beautiful historical kind of experience. And then we'll go on the next slide because I really want to focus the 17-day Greenland and Canada. Absolutely gorgeous itinerary, round trip from Boston, and it is on the Emerald Princess. So and by the way, we do have a voyage that's 18 days if guests want to go round trip New York, and this visits 4 ports in Greenland. So this is no stranger to you, our Canadians, how beautiful and picturesque this scenery is, and it is a big commitment from our end to do these 17 and 18 days because they really have been a staple for us when we do Canada, New England, and our guests just want to have a little more cultural immersion and an itinerary, that's different. And I always like to say, we do 330 destinations, right? From pole to pole around the world. We continue to serve these destinations up, and we go where our guests want us to go. And so we do surveys every year for destination and deployment, especially after the pause or coma, as I like to say. It's really critical for us to offer a variety of these itineraries. So then we're going to move on and shift gears, but pretty much just talking about New York. So New York is one of those kind of like San Francisco when we're doing Alaska cruises for there or coastal cruises from San Francisco. It is one of those ports that it's awe-inspiring when you sail in and out. I mean, it really, really is. It's, you go by Old Liberty, and this is one of those wows. I've done it several times. I've done it from New York, and I got to tell you, whether it's going cruising to Bermuda or if I've done Canada and New England, it's just awe-inspiring to sail from there. So I highly recommend it if you have collectors, right? We have a lot of clients that have cruised or have cruised with you many times, and maybe they've not done it out of New York. It is truly a collector's itinerary, and we have over 15 departures doing this. Again, we offer a variety of durations from 7 to 18 days on Island and Enchanted. And again, those key drive markets, I keep talking about this because it's part of our home port strategy, but we'll go straight into what the destinations are in the next few slides. We'll start with our 10 and 11 day. We've actually renamed these really because we call them American Heritage for lack of a better term, because they are visiting some real, it's a maiden call that we're doing really to Norfolk. which is Yorktown, and it's Colonial Williamsburg. So Jamestown, again, we've talked about these round trip New York, 10 and 11 days. I like to always say, when the kids are out for summer school, what did you do last summer? Well, I got, History 101 with these immersive American heritage voyages in 10 and 11 days. And Charleston's such a gorgeous, gorgeous port. And then again, we do Boston, and we give that, Halifax with Nova Scotia, give it a really round trip turn. And again, beautiful maiden call. So we've got great feedback on these voyages, and they're earlier in the season. So the next slide talks about a just announced for 2025 10-day Canada, New England as well. So we're all in Canada, New England. So really critical to own this. And these are round trip New York sailing. So we just announced these June 2025 on Island Princess, 6 ports in 10 days. And again, including this rich colonial history of Boston and obviously the maritime heritage of Halifax, which is, I'd be silly to try to even tell our Canadians how incredible that is and how popular and highly rated these voyages are. Okay. Absolutely fabulous itinerary. 10-day, which is great again in that summer season early on. And then the next slide, another voyage that we just announced. So this is super exciting because I got to give you a tease when we're talking about how exciting it is to sail out of New York. So the next slide really puts it into perspective. So we have just announced, and this is something I've only been here for 2 years, but every time I've been out doing sales calls and at conferences and trade shows, not just from you, our incredible travel partners, but also our consumers. So I've done consumer shows. Guests come up and saying, "When are you bringing Bermuda back? We want Bermuda." So this is hot off the press. We just announced it. Caribbean with a Bermuda and an overnight. So, oh my goodness, I can just see the swizzle sticks and the incredible, beautiful pink sands. If you've never been to Bermuda, this is really, again, another life list. So we're doing July and August voyages on island. Being able to do, again, the Royal Navy Stockyard. Beautiful shot right there, okay? In use since 1795. Now, I went to Bermuda in 2021 and did 2 overnights. And again, we're doing San Juan. Talk about cool, very cool, because you're getting a little bit of Grand Turk, San Juan, Amber Cove, and then to do Bermuda, it just gives it that whole new umph of what guests want. People are collectors. They want to do a little bit of everything. And if they've done the Caribbean, this is their next destination. So next slide will bring us over to the West Coast, really where Princess started in LA, right? But we do a lot from LA. And again, we were the ones who pretty much as a staple brought out the Mexican Riviera almost 59 years ago, right? Again, Love Boat put that Mexican Riviera itinerary on the map. You guys remember Pacific Princess, the Love Boat. So from LA, we're sailing from October to April. So it's over 50 departures. And it's interesting because, when I got here 2 years ago, it was wonderful to see the kind of sourcing we do out of California. It's one of our largest source states for us because it's key drive markets, right? And so we do 3 days. Yeah. So if you've ever thought of a sampler for the Princess brand, we do it from 3 to 33 days because it's expansive. It's not just Mexico, but we do the California coast. We're doing Hawaii. Yeah, folks who don't want to fly all the way to Hawaii, we give them that option. And then up to 33 days. So next slide will bring us to San Francisco. Again, another iconic embarkation port as far as I'm concerned. This is kind of like New York. It's in that same, platform. When you think of sailing and looking at this incredible scenery with the Golden Gate Bridge, I mean, this is truly one that is on the life list. It's awe-inspiring as well. It's gorgeous when you see it. Everything you see when you're sailing there, absolutely gorgeous. And if you think about we're sailing year round from San Francisco, that continues to be a challenge for us to communicate. And I don't know why, but it's Crown and Ruby Princess. We got great drive markets, but we're doing 40 departures sailing year round from San Francisco. So we've got obviously Alaska's Inside Passage. You all know it very, very well. We're very proud of our heritage in Alaska and the commitment we've continued to make, and making it out of San Francisco for us has been great. durations of 5 to 16 days. So we go to the next slide. We'll just talk about some of these itineraries from LA and San Francisco, just a couple deployments, some of the versions that you can look at that you might know we've got or we don't. So in the next slide, we'll do 7-day Mexican Riviera. So we'll stop right here, Eilish, to talk about what put us on the map, right? So this is our Mexican Riviera itineraries, 11-day sailings also from San Francisco, and 7 days if we're doing the LAs, which was the traditional, love boat itinerary, right? So it's Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. So absolute gorgeous scenery. And then if you do it from San Francisco, people, you get that incredible extra oomph, and you get there from San Francisco, which is great. So next itinerary, we'll talk about some of these classic California coasts. So these are really wonderful itineraries. I happen to love them because it does, again, the 7-day classic California coast does San Francisco round trip. You can also do LA on Discovery Princess. We have more short late nights in both San Francisco and San Diego. So San Diego is a beautiful itinerary. But when I think about San Francisco, like I love Santa Barbara, absolutely gorgeous with the wineries. But if I think about San Francisco, and if you've got clients that want to do this, I'd highly recommend either a pre or post. Pre or post so they could do Napa or Sonoma and wine country because it's so picturesque. This coast is gorgeous and there's so much to see. And again, we're giving you round trips, San Francisco or LA, gorgeous itineraries. And then we're going to move on and kind of talk about the Hawaii cruises. So there's a lot of folks that don't want to fly, but they want to get to Hawaii, right? How else can you do it? That's why these cruises are longer. I've done this itinerary 16 days. I did it from LA, which is the next slide, Eilish. And so you have to do these, beautiful days at sea. To me, I got to be honest and look at that Kauai. I mean, that's gorgeous. If you go back, because I haven't finished with Hawaiian Islands, I'm sorry, Eilish. It's just this is such an incredible itinerary, and I want to focus on Hawaii specifically because how do you get there, right? If you're going to fly, and you can do the math on airlift going into Honolulu, it's not for the faint of pocketbook or faint of heart, I like to say. This is what our guests have asked for, right? Your clients have asked for, how do I do it without having to fly? And we do more short late night calls on every visit to Honolulu. And again, they can do it from San Francisco. So if you're out of Vancouver, you have those Western Canadians, they can get to San Francisco, do it on Ruby. And again, you get Maui, Hilo, Kauai. I mean, you have got that flair. And then those days at sea for me are fabulous on the way over and on the way out, especially if you've done immersive excursions in the island. It's really great to have those sea days to kind of unwind, refresh, and do spa. I'm big about Lotus Spa on the way back. And then we're going to shift over to Alaska because, again, it was a home port strategy. So, really want to talk about our North American ports. And I think everybody knows for us, San Francisco, and doing this in inside passage for Alaska on the next slide. Eilish, thank you, is really great because again, more leisurely days at sea. You'd be surprised. Alaska's not a one and done. It's hard for me to keep stressing this, even though we have been voted. And why do I do it? By the way, we're humbled that we've been voted best cruise line in Alaska by Readers' Choice Awards, Travel Weeklies. I was humbled enough to accept the award in New York. 20-time winner. And the reason I bring it up is because that's a third party endorsement. That's not us saying we're best. That's you saying we're best. And that's really critical because the way we do Alaska, it's because we own each of these components and they are on brand, right? So we control that princess DNA from inception all the way to delivery, whether it's by rail, sail, or if you're doing our lodges. They are princess lodges. So it's really critical. So again, select sailings includes Prince Rupert. I think it's great. And when you look at the glaciers, that's what people want, this beautiful 11-day passage. And folks have done Alaska before. We want to make sure that they know we've got lots of options for them. And we continue to do this. So we're committed. We have 7 ships in Alaska this year. That's a big number. Again, not visiting. It's not a one-off. We are there to stay. So now I want to shift gears. That's pretty much some of those new home port itineraries. So if we'll go to the next slide, we're going to talk about what's new. So I was lucky that I joined the Princess brand 2 years ago when we had just brought in Discovery Princess. That was our 15th ship. Absolutely gorgeous vessel. But now, when we talk about exciting and new, we're bringing it to a whole new level. So I'm talking about a different level. And what I'm talking about is our newest ship in our fleet that we just inaugurated. Actually, she is in service, the Sun Princess, which is the next slide, Eilish. I'm really excited about this because what were we thinking of when we said we're designing this new Sun Princess? By the way, Star Princess as well. So when you look at Sun Princess, largest ship in our fleet, by the way, largest ship that Fincantieri has ever built. Look at the number of verandas, 21 decks. Yes, we're bringing the guest count to 4,300 guests. But this is what we call a Sphere class ship. So what do I mean with that? This is really a whole new ship class for us, but it's traditional princess. It gives you the heart and soul and the DNA of what our brand is all about, the heritage of 59 years of princess. Because when our guests come aboard a princess ship, and by the way, this is the third Sun Princess in our history in 59 years, they have certain things they're expecting. And that is why we're so consistent in execution and delivery. But I want to give you just a quick sneak preview of this amazing ship with the next video. If you'll roll the video, Eilish. Fantastic. We like to say that the sun revolves around you, not just you, but our guests, right? With Sun Princess, absolutely gorgeous. So, by the way, you will be seeing more and more of. So, we were doing renderings again. You have a new class of ship. If you've ever, in the industry, when you bring out a new class of ship, it's not an easy feat, right? Because you're actually looking at a whole new experience, not just for shipbuilders. For Fincantieri, I mentioned it's the largest ship that they've ever built, but we've reimagined everything that makes Princess, right? So the piazza, I'm just showing you the piazza. There are 3 decks, absolutely stunning views. So we call it a Sphere class ship because you'll see this gorgeous setup. This is 3 decks high. So normally when you come to our piazza, there's a lot of, I don't want to call it obstruction, but public rooms around. This class of ship brings the what people go cruising for. You want to see the sights and sounds, the beautiful ocean by day and by night. Stunning. So you'll see the piazza is truly infused. The best way I can describe it is really with light. And it is absolutely stunning. And you'll see that gorgeous 3D. It's like that display. We have filled this with this LED screen. It becomes that LED wall becomes really the center. And if you've been on a princess ship, you know the piazza is the center. It is the heartbeat of our ships. It's where everybody gathers, right? If you did not know, because I got an education 2 years ago, I didn't realize how immersed we are in that Italian culture and heritage, which is because of our officers, right? Our navigating staff, maritime staff on board are Italian. So that's why it's called the piazza. And it's just, this is the real thing, by the way. This is not a rendering. Absolutely gorgeous. But let me give you just a quick video sneak peek. Can you get a closer look of how this piazza comes to life? So if you roll the video, Eilish, thank you. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And by the way, this is hot off the press, these videos. We have these assets for you to download if you need to, which is really critical. But I mean, we want to say it's more than ocean views. It's really seeing the world in a new light, which is what that piazza does. And then it brings us straight through. This is not a rendering. This is actually the real thing. It is the dome. When I think of this design, it's really a unique design. And I want you to think, so you'll see the staple in the center. You'll see the beautiful pool, which by the way is both indoor and outdoor. So it's a cutting edge as well, just like the piazza was. It's like an entertainment venue as well. So you could just imagine if you've been on board a princess ship, that piazza. So now just think taking the dome to a whole new level. So it's a really unique design, and it's punctuated by this gorgeous dome, cutting edge entertainment space for us. So think about the top deck inspired. And I look at the infusion of light that the dome provides us. By day, think of Santorini. That's what it reminds me of. It's like a Santorini feel. Think of those cliffs and the beauty and the view with ocean views and the light. But the dome features, again, that indoor outdoor pool, with a unique water feature. So by day, it's this Santorini feel, but by night, I kind of it reminisces to where I'm from, right? Miami Beach and South Beach. It has that South Beach ambiance, right, which is gorgeous. So again, it transforms in the evening to this incredible uh, entertainment venue. So if you look at the next slide, because it is in the top deck, and we'll talk about what that does for the brand. It gives you just another area. So if you're like in the meeting and entertainment uh and that's real. Look at the LED screen there. And again, you're seeing a little bit of we've got an incredible partnership for entertainment. So this just gives us another venue. We got Piazza for entertainment. Now we have the Tome on the top deck, gorgeously inspired by day by night. But now by night, we have an incredible exclusive partnership. So we go to the next slide. It's with Cirque. Hello, I don't speak French. I always want to say Eloise, but I've been told it's not Eloise. So if you look at the next slide, it's Eloise. Did I say that right? Oh my, it's going to be hard. I'm going to have my French Canadians give me a little bit of a lesson. But this exclusively on Sun Princess, I want to give you a quick sneak shot because this is three spectacular originally contemporary circus performance, just like you would think Cirque du Soleil, 20 to 30-minute shows. It's a blending of not just circus arts with music, dance, and technology and theater, but just imagine in this dome with the views outside. So let's just run the video and you'll get a sneak peek of the feel of the dome and this entertainment venue.
You know me, I'm all about my business. No apologies. I run a life fitness. Can't believe this moment. I'm free. I'm free. Look good, smell good, it's about. It's about some wrist, it's about that die. Gotta go big, 'cause I got that. Gotta go big, 'cause I got full life. I'm feeling good. Getting better. Feeling good. I can't let it go. I'm feeling good. 'Cause I never say never. 'Cause I find my place where I'm always feeling good. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
It is a wow. Truly a wow for us. I got to tell you, that's the first time I'm using this video. You are the first to see it. I haven't even done it on my one of my own Connect with Princess webinars, just so you know. So this is hot off the press, brand new. You're seeing it first. So I'm thrilled that I'm able to inaugurate that incredible video. Again, this is because the ship did you all know that we just inaugurated it like less than a month ago? I mean, it's like hot off the press. So excited to see that because it comes to life. Sorry, artist rendering, do it no justice. And the fact that we're able to get these great assets to really show off the ship is critical. I'm going to move a little quicker because I know, we're almost at the top of the hour and I want to make sure that I get through stateroom accommodations because we talked about it. If you go to the next slide, please. I promise, Eilish, we're going to go quick. Sorry, I'll keep you on your toes. It's just there's so much exciting and new. I know that sounds geeky, but it truly is on this ship. I mentioned at the beginning, um, when you think about accommodation. So I think there's nothing like the visuals, right? So we'll play the video so you can get an idea and then we're going to talk about it. Go. Wow. So there you saw incredible. Again, these are live shots of the beautiful Sun Princess. You saw the sky suite there at the end, which was wonderful. But you also saw the cabana mini suites. By the way, I'm booked on one for my personal vacation in December. I think that's a game changer in the industry, those mini suites, because it's not just your regular incredible sitting area. So you saw how spacious that is. We're also taking, finally, we're joining the others who brought this concept of a ship within a ship. So yes, we have, suite categories, concierge services on our other ships, right? Discovery and all the other 14. But this is ship number 16 where we've actually created these categories. There are guests that want these luxury ships within a ship, which means these exciting new stateroom accommodations, mini suites, cabana, sky suites, they will have their own private lounge and private restaurants, concierge services, all that your luxury subset of clients want. So be looking for it. I'm super excited. So then let's talk about new venues, just because we have over 30 dining venues. I mean, we have taken this ship and done everything people love about Princess, but taking it to a whole new level. So we'll go to the next slide where we're going to go quickly into some of these new partnerships that you might have heard of. Some additional dining is critical on a cruise. People want some new exciting things. We have our staples. Please don't misunderstand. We will still have, obviously, our Crown Grill, Sabatini's. We've got the Catch by Rudy. Butcher's Block by Dario. So this is gonna be incredible. He's Italian, can you tell? The teppanyaki and hot pot. That's new for us. And then of course the O'Malley. I'm hearing O'Malley's is super super successful and very popular. 30 plus restaurants and bar. The Catch by Rudy is fabulous. We were just on Discovery. And then Love by Brito, Romero Brito. That is going to be up and running in April. So Romero is a Brazilian artist. If you've never seen him, we announced Love by Brito in December here in Miami at Art Basel, Miami. And I'll tell you, what a perfect alignment and partnership. Because when you think of the Love brand, you think Princess. And when I think of Love, I think of Romero Brito's whimsical artwork, making this a very romantic venue. I can't wait to see it live and in person. So we'll just go to the next slide. So we show you some of them, just so you have some idea. For instance, obviously the teppanyaki. This is great, whether you like to eat or eat to live entertainment. So think of, when you think of this, it's going to be live action, like entertainment. Can I say that right? I think I'm just tagging a whole new world, right? But this is a fusion of Teppan cuisine and showmanship. So you kind of have to visualize it. Next slide is obviously Horizons dining room. This is critical because our Horizons dining room, that restaurant in all of our ships is this has taken it to a whole new level because it's 3 stories. Everybody loves food, but we're doing a little bit different with these 3-story designs, right? Not only it's an elegant design, but the multi-course meals and the type of service that we're offering. More to come on that, but obviously we'll have traditional dining 5 and 7:30 in level 1. Level 2 will be more by dining by reservations at your time when you want. And then the third level of the dining room will be what we call Americana. Just come in whenever you want, no reservations required. So I want to share that because this has been very well received on Sun Princess. And we'll go to the next slide. So our Crown Grill staple on our ships, absolutely incredible. I absolutely love to go to Crown Grill and that soup, that French onion soup with that kind of blue cheese that they use. It is just an amazing experience. Obviously, premium corn-fed beef, seafood, because I don't eat meat, but I'll tell you that lobster tail and the scallops as the appetizer, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Just as an amazing experience with Crown Grill. And then we'll go to the next slide, which is really going to talk about Spellbound. So this is entertainment. And Spellbound is, if you've ever been to LA, there is a magic castle. So these are extraordinary experiences. That's what we call them. It's not just a dining venue. It's about magic, but magic that's very personalized. So if you've been to LA and you've been to Magic Castle, which is a members only um, club, so to speak, in Hollywood. It's a Hollywood icon, quite frankly. It's Victorian inspired. So what we've done is we've taken that Hollywood icon members only Magic Castle experience and put it on with Spellbound by Magic Castle. So just imagine replicating that. It's been very well received. We actually had the first showing about 2 weeks ago and had great press on it. Super cool. And it's not magic like you think it's tacky or corny. No, it's really right there, like very personalized with smaller venues. And we will be selling this experience. I think it accommodates for the magic show about 30 folks a night. So more to come. Next slide, we take it a whole new level, which is Park 19. It's a public area. I always say we are not an exclusive kids only brand. We're just not. I know what we are, and we're a little bit of everything. That's the beauty. When we say the love boat, it's love of everything: love of culinary, love of immersion culturally, in destination, and families. We have a lot of multi-gen families that cruise with us. Do you know that we have more kids cruise with us in Alaska than any other cruise line? I mean, that shouldn't surprise you with 7 ships, but we've created this Park 19, not just for the young, but the young at heart. So next slide, you'll see it's really, we're just giving this a whole new type of activity center that we've got at the very top deck, new for our brand, really great. You'll see in the next slide, the Sea Breeze roll glider. So that's going to be super cool. We're putting the finishing touches on that right now because they have to go certain safety certifications, but you can go on a ride if you want and soar like a bird if you want. So I want to again just tell you when we talk about Sun Princess, and you can go to the next slide. That was just a sneak peek. We'll have real, that's an artist rendering. You'll see the real experience. But I want everybody to think of us as families as well, because we get a lot of multi-gen groups. So on the next slide, you'll see Sun Princess is sailing the Med right now as we speak. And she will be here in the fall in the Caribbean doing Eastern and Western. We talked about a couple of those itineraries. And again, we're going to be giving Eilish, you're going to be picking the winner shortly here for our 3-night preview. If you go to the next slide, we're going to go quickly here because I just want to make sure you all know, we do these bundles. We call it pays to plus. So these are items that your clients are going to purchase anyway. The 3 staples, we like to say save on things you're going to do anyway. It pays to plus. If you go to the next slide, you're going to see a quick video of why it pays to plus. Thank you, Eilish. So I'll go real quick. That's a great video. You can download it on onesourcecruises.com. If you go to the next slide, why it plays to plus. So if they do Princess Plus, it's just $60 a day per person. Those three anchors, don't worry about the additional stuff. It's all great, right? But beverage packages, whether alcoholic or not, Wi-Fi devices, 1 in plus, and up to 4 in Premier, gratuities. Your clients are saving more than 55%. And by the way, we commission you up front. So you're making commission. These are things they're going to purchase anyway. Next slide is Premier. You'll see it has a few other additional stuff like the specialty dining, princess prizes, reserved seating in the showroom. So that's Premier, and that's $80 per person per day. Again, if you sell this upfront, and I highly recommend it, you're going to get highest rating. So you'll go to the next slide. You'll see how we break out the commission on it. It's really easy. You get commission. You're getting commission on things that your clients are buying anyway. And then we do a comparison because a lot of folks tell me, well, my clients don't want to pay for alcohol. Well, even if it's non-alcoholic, you will see if you did it a la carte what the savings are. So up till the day before, if you're recommending this and your clients are buying it, you will have full commission on it. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see what that really equates to with just a standard 60 a day or 12%, how much you're making. Again, the math, it pays for itself because they truly will spend more if they're going to get those three anchor things: beverage packages, Wi-Fi, and gratuities. They're going to do it anyway. Just recommend it. You're going to have a much higher satisfaction with your client. And then the next slide, we've created a comparison chart. I'll give it to you so you can look at the QR code. It really explains to you why it plays to plus. And quite frankly, if you look at us versus other brands in the industry, please scan the code, look at the comparison, why our Princess Plus and Premiers are the best bundle packages in the business. And then as we move on, getting ready to wrap up, I want to talk about our Seminar at Sea program at the next slide. Last year, we had about 25 Seminar at Sea dates and lots of Love Fest experiences. This year, we only have 7. So you're going to be joining one of our business development managers, and you're welcome. Registrations are already open. We start these seminars in May. There's only 7 of them this year, 4 to 7 days. It includes Princess Plus because we want you to experience it. So scan the QR code. And then if we go to the next slide, you'll see what the dates are, the duration of the cruises, what the kind of itineraries we're looking at. So again, we have only 7. So I highly recommend scan. Get yourself signed up. We have a whole bunch of them, as you can see, all the way from March that just went. That was a super success through November 17th. And last but not least, in the next slide, you'll be able to find, if you do not know, in Canada, we have 3 amazing business development managers, but you can find them at onesourcecruises.com. Obviously, we have Christine on the east. On the west, we have Stephanie. And I will tell you, Mavis, who is our 3rd BDM, and servicing all of Canada, and Marsha Patrick, who's our director. And then we'll go to our last slide, which is where we're going to pick the winner.
Amazing.
Eilish, I went as fast as I could. I know I talked really fast towards the end. Sorry.
No, you were great. Thank you for the amazing presentation. We'll go really quick. We've picked our winner via random draw, as you were speaking at the end there. And she's joining us from Paris, Ontario today. It's Jessica Kumornik from Onvigo. So congratulations. We'll follow up with you over email. Jessica, keep an eye out for that. And we can wrap up the session there today. Thank you so much, Carmen. That was just fantastic. Thank you to Charlie as well for joining us at the beginning there. As I mentioned, we will publish the recording in the coming days, likely on Monday or Tuesday due to the Easter holiday, but you will receive it in your inbox. And we'll have all kinds of great information along with that email. And have a lovely rest of your day. We really appreciate you all being here. So
thank you, Eilish. So great running the program. Appreciate you. Thank you. Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. Bye.